Let's take a few moments to remind you of our top stories. Sir Keir Starmer's hit back at President Trump's threats to impose tariffs on the UK and 7 other European countries and the ongoing row over the future of Greenland. The Prime Minister said it was completely wrong to impose tariffs on allies and said a trade war was in no one's interests. The US President's threatening 8 countries with tariffs there: Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden and the UK, until the US is allowed to buy Greenland. Well, the President's warned that 10% tariffs would come into effect on the 1st of February, the rate climbing to 25% on the 1st of June if no deal was in place for the complete and total purchase of Greenland by the United States. Joining us now, Mitchell Barnes, CEO and founder of RYSE 3D, which manufactures vehicle parts and then sends them to the US to be used in luxury sports cars, joins us from Warwickshire. Good to have you with us. I appreciate you sharing your time. As yet, tariffs not in force, but if they do occur on the 1st of February and then escalate on the 1st of June, what would that mean for a business such as yours?
I mean, I think reality is, look, we've had probably a lot of volatility with US tariffs over the last few months and the last year in reality, with the changes that have happened to automotive. And reality is we're already planning to have US operations. They're in motion now, the legals are happening, and all it's going to do is just push us to accelerate our US base, purely because it's our only option to negate the volatility in the market.
So would that be a case that you would split the business and put some of it in the United States, or would you transfer the entire operation to the US and then look to export products back to other markets?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I mean, reality is, I think we would always have a base in the UK. We love the UK and very patriotic, love the country, want it to continue to grow. The US opportunity obviously is a lot bigger, it's a much larger market, so it would be a case of it would be a split operation. You would have US customers served from the US, you'd have UK customers and European customers served from the UK. That would make much more sense for ourselves.
The President gives pretty short timescales on these kind of announcements, and they're pretty big announcements when they come. Businesses don't generally run on the same speed that the President do. How do you go about trying to keep up with the volatility? Because often you're being given overnight notice of something that's going to happen in 12 days' time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest, we're quite lucky in the industry that we're in, which is rapid manufacturing turnaround of parts. Even though it's production supply and we have long-term production contracts, we have to change and adapt to things very, very, very quickly. 3D printing and technology is very suited to that. So ultimately for us, it's just another problem that's been thrown our way. Like when someone orders something, they need it yesterday, we have to understand how to deliver that, understand the constraints and then deliver against them. It's just the same difficult problem that always gets thrown at us, and we have to come up with a solution to solve it. So just use our best foot forward, develop new technology, find a better way of doing it, better partners, better trade routes, and just follow that path.
When you talk about delivering strategies, overcoming challenges and obstacles, for example, if you're selling product A to the US and all of a sudden it's going to become 10% more expensive to import, what happens? Are you looking to reduce your costs? Are you looking to reduce the cost of production? Are you having to charge your customers less? Are they less inclined to buy from you? What are the potential iterations of that 10% tariff or a 25% tariff on your business?
Well, really good question, to be honest. So if we're looking at like a 10% tariff, that's probably a case of where we manufacture our own printers here. That's how we've been able to get over increased taxes and fiscal incompetence from the UK government, for example. So that's how we've combated that. With price increases of 10% due to tariffs with the US, we can probably deal with that with more innovation and reduction of material supply by buying in larger quantities. When we then look at the 25% tariffs, that's when we have to look at and take seriously, because it's a huge jump. We have to look at just supplying those parts from the US, essentially, because that makes more sense for our customers, also ourselves, and it protects the UK business as well.
I think
so we scale the response with the problem.
I think I'm correct in understanding about 30% of your volume goes to the United States. What other...
60% of it. It's quite a lot.
60%, my apologies. Yeah, a significant proportion. And that was going to be my question, that the size of the market for a specialist company such as yours. How do other markets compare? Because we kind of talk about the increasing middle and upper classes in parts of China, for example, in Southeast Asia. Are you able, if business was to go away, and I appreciate you may be looking to establish physical business presence yourself in the US, but if business was to go away in the short term from the US, can you pick up work elsewhere, or is the United States such a juggernaut for a company such as yours?
No, goodness, no, it's not. So essentially we have to make sure that we're not a one-horse pony. We have to make sure we're not reliant on any one market. We've got continued growth across Europe at the minute, mainly in Poland, in Eastern Europe. especially with defence work, etc. We have to look at then domestic supply and increases, other industries other than where we're quite heavy in automotive, and grow in that aspect. We can't just rely on the US or any one industry or one country. So that's something we're looking at and pushing on all the time, because we can't be reliant on any one horse in the race.
Just briefly, as things currently stand, it appears that the Prime Minister doesn't look to be looking towards reciprocal tariffs. The European Union is preparing 93 billion euros worth. Would you like to see the UK government hit back to try and protect British workforces, workers and businesses such as yours?
I mean, good question. Probably what I would ask, to be completely frank, if you're on about protecting British workforces, if I was Keir Starmer, first thing I would be looking to do is remove the Chancellor and make even more U-turns on some of the incompetent taxes and changes that he's put in place, first of all. I would stop worrying about Trump tariffs and those increases and start looking at what has Labour done to actually stifle and strangle UK businesses themselves. They've caused more of a problem than these tariffs ever will in the last 18 months.
Well, there's clarity on your position there, Mitchell. Mitchell Barnes, CEO and founder of RYSE 3D. Good to have you with us. Thank you.